Ava?
Yes.
Survivor Atlanta 2026. First time. Welcome. How you feeling?
Nervous.
Okay.
Yes. Very nervous.
That's all right. Nerves can be good. It can get you through. So I want to start here. What is your familiarity with Survivor as a show, as a concept, anything?
Well, I mean, I watched it I kind of got into it in like middle school and like started watching some of the older seasons and then fell out of it. And then a couple years ago, I was like watching again, like when Caleb and Sophia were like watching. I was like, oh, okay, I want to get back into it. So kind of in and out, but like I know the show pretty well, not great.
You've got the basics.
Yeah, I know what's expected,
Sure.
but don't know what's expected.
Cool. You're a new player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coming in as a new player, there are 5 returnees who have experience at least with this game. How do you view that? Do you see that as like something you can use as an advantage, or do you see it as a threat? A bit of both?
I think I kind of see it both ways, being an advantage and disadvantage, kind of like with I don't know, working with returning players, I think will help me a bit, like especially at the beginning, like trying to pick up like what I want to do and like figure out where I'm going to kind of lead.
So you have had some time to mingle with others a little bit. Obviously, you're in a good position in the sense that you know at least a couple of the returnees and some of the newbies as well. But first impressions, is there anybody you're thinking you might want to work with, maybe don't want to work with?
I think with someone I want to work with, like I knew coming in here, I was like Sophia for sure. Hopefully just because like, I mean, I've played games with her back home. Like I've seen her, she's very like usually on her game and like pretty self-aware, but she also makes me a bit nervous because like she's a really good liar. So like I've been on the other end where like she's tricked me a few times when we're playing some other stuff. So like she's someone I want to work with, but I'm also like kind of like keeping my eye out on her.
Okay. Are you coming with any strategy?
I want to push myself to like really mingle and work and like that part because like I'm not a very athletic person, to be honest, but like when it comes to like talking to people and like kind of mingling, I think I've gotten pretty good at that, and I think that's what's gonna help me the most. So I don't know, that's where I'm gonna start and see where it goes.
Okay. What do you think is your weakness in this game?
I think I'm a big overthinker, and that's gonna be my weakness, like especially when it comes to like working like with mental challenges like puzzles and things. Like I could do puzzles very well, but like when I feel rushed or like very panicked, I tend to like overlook everything and kind of lose my balance. Sure. So I think that's going to be my biggest like challenge or weakness in this.
Okay. Finally, if you are named the winner of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think will be the reason?
I think going back to like the whole like connect with people, I think just like trying to play an honest game, but also being a new person, and like I feel like I might have something unexpected. I'm hoping there's something unexpected about me comes out, so we'll see.
All right, Caleb, Survivor Atlanta 2026, year 3. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling very excited. But I'm definitely ready to get back out there. I feel like I kind of got, a little bit screwed over last year, so I'm ready to sort of redeem myself.
Yeah. So last year, I think your first year, you had a kind of a tough showing out pretty early. Your second year, you got to the merge with more power, but then found yourself in the wrong end at the merge, and then on the wrong end of a big move from our eventual winner a couple rounds later. What do you think went wrong for you, and what do you think went right, if anything?
So I'll start with what I think went wrong. I think, so going into it last year, my plan was to play an open game, and I feel like I kind of threw that out the window very early by joining what I thought was going to be sort of a super alliance. I thought I could kind of power my way through the game with that alliance, and by doing so, I think I initially came off as being part of like a bigger threat, and so my allies got targeted really quickly, and before I knew it, I was on an island. What went right? It's hard to say. Like, I do think it's important to put yourself in an alliance early and to have that power. So I do think a bit of that was good. But in the end, it didn't work out for me. So I feel like I have a lot to learn from that.
Cool. Well, you're a returnee, so you've played with some of these people before. You're also in kind of a unique position where you know a good number of the new players. So knowing that, is there anybody you're thinking you might want to work with, or maybe don't want to work with?
So off the bat, I'll say there's no one that I absolutely don't want to work with. I'm not closing that door to anybody because you never know what kind of position you could be in. People that I do want to work with, I mean, we'll see what happens. Chloe's coming back for her third year as well, and she's always been a strong player. Won it the first year, made it to the finals last year. So I definitely want to open that door and try to develop some sort of alliance there. But I'm not holding anything back. If I can use my relationships to my advantage, I will. Obviously, my fiance is here. There's been a bit of a war between us the last couple of years. She voted me out year one. I voted her out last year. I think coming into this year, it's a clean slate. And so I don't really want to use any sort of past experiences. I don't want those to influence my game in any way. I kind of want to just go in with a clean slate and open myself up to any opportunities and try and, get to know everybody a little bit, pull as many people aside as I can, and just leave the door open for whatever opportunities arise.
And with your sisters, do you think their inexperience relative to you guys is something you can use, or do you think that's something that could hurt you?
I think it's tricky. I think there's a bit of it that you can use because I feel like you can kind of maybe lead them in a certain direction, just based off the experience that I have and also the experience from watching the TV show. But at the same time, I think inexperience can also help you a lot in this game. I mean, last year we had a brand new player. He won without having a lot of experience going into it. I think that just sort of the mentality of that going into the game from other people's perspectives can maybe kind of put you under the radar naturally. And you might have a little bit more leeway, whereas a returning player coming back third year, I think there could be a bit more of a target on my back, or, any of the other returning players. So I do feel like the inexperience helps and hurts you a bit, but I would lean towards it being more helpful than harmful.
Okay. You talked a little about how you want to be flexible with alliances. Would you say that is your strategy coming in, or is there anything else you're thinking about?
Yeah, I would say my primary strategy is to talk to everybody. I mentioned earlier, I kind of closed myself off early on by joining a strong alliance, or what I consider to be a strong alliance, and it sort of closed off opportunities from other players. I think this year I want to use my time a little bit more fluidly. I want to bounce around between people, have as many conversations as I can. And if I see a natural alliance form, I'm obviously going to try and take that up. I'm not going to turn down anything, but I'm definitely open to whatever can happen. And I want to make sure I'm more intentional about my social strategy this year rather than just try and let it come to me.
Okay. Is there anything you're anticipating in this game, whether it's a twist or a challenge, or the social dynamics of the game?
I mean, I'm always anticipating everything. I mean, I'm very aware that if I were to get voted out, there is more than likely going to be a redemption challenge. And so you never want to count yourself out completely in this game. You never know you can get back in it. So I'm definitely, anticipating that as a possibility. And I don't know. I feel like it could kind of go in any direction. I have really no idea what kind of tribes are going to be split into. The thought has crossed my mind that there could be some sort of blood versus water theme, just because I have two of my sisters and my fiance here. So you can maybe put us all in a tribe versus everyone else. You never know. I mean, those are a couple things that I think maybe could happen, but at the end of the day, I'm expecting anything. I mean, there's always a twist, and it's hard to expect the unexpected. So, yeah.
You talked about redemptions. Do you think that somebody who returns to the game can win it? We've never had anyone make it to the end who's returned, so we've never really seen that in action.
I think you're definitely put in a tough spot, but I don't think it's impossible. I think it also kind of matters how far back you were voted out. So if you're a first person voted out and then you're coming back in super late into the game, I feel like your chances are pretty slim. But if you get voted out and then the next challenge is a redemption challenge and you get back in it, who knows what could happen? You've been in the game for 98% of the time. So I absolutely think anybody that enters redemption can win it. And we have no idea how the jury will react, but that's a big part of the game too, is anticipating what they'll think and what they'll do. But absolutely, I think that someone who wins redemption could win the whole thing.
Cool. What do you think is your weakness in this game?
My weakness. I think my weakness is honestly what I'm trying to do better this year, and that is making sure I'm approaching people and also being approachable. So like I generally think that is my biggest weakness. Like I said last year, I sort of closed myself off. Sometimes I waited for people to come up to me, other than like the people that I was sort of in an alliance with. So I think kind of my social game from that aspect can be seen as a weakness because, I think it's good to talk to people, and that's not something that always comes naturally to me. So I would consider that my biggest weakness going into the game.
Okay, finally, if you win Survivor Atlanta 2026, you're named the sole survivor, what do you think will be the reason?
I think the reason will be playing a fluid game. It'll be playing a clean game. I'm not afraid to stab anyone in the back, but I think if I do win, it'll be because I was generally seen as, making the right moves when I needed to, being on the right side of the vote when I needed to, and keeping the jury in my favor for the most part. So I think it'll just be playing a clean, fluid game, honestly. That's sort of my strategy going in, and that's how I hope I'll win.
All right, Chloe, Survivor Atlanta 2026. You're 3. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
You're coming in as the runner-up from last year.
It's true.
Got to the end, maybe unexpectedly, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but you were there.
Included.
Yeah. What do you think went right for you last year to get there, and what do you think went wrong that you couldn't take home the win?
I don't know. I think I was able to work. I think that I was in the majority alliance, and that kind of helped. It was a lot of like, we were in the minority, and then we kind of flipped it to the majority, and I think that we were able to kind of hold on to that for a really long time, and I think that helped me make it into the final. But I don't think I made as many moves as I should have, and I think that's why that was kind of my weakness in last year's game.
Do you think that you could have done something not to sit by Michael? And if so, do you think that would have gotten you the win?
Probably not, because I was literally never going to win that final immunity challenge, like ever. So, probably not.
Well, you're a third-year attorney, so you know some of the people here, some new people too. You've had maybe a little time to mingle. Anybody you're thinking you might want to work with, not work with, first impressions?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of pre-existing relationships, especially with like Caleb's sisters and then their friends. So I'll see how it kind of works out, but I'm not exactly sure quite yet.
Okay, cool. Are you coming in with a strategy this year?
No, I don't know if I have a set strategy. I think I'm just going to wing it this year.
Okay. Are you anticipating anything in this game, whether it's like a challenge or a twist or like the dynamics of the game, the social dynamics?
Honestly, no. I feel like this year is going to be kind of a toss-up. I'm hoping there's more puzzles this time than there were last year, but other than that, I don't really know.
Okay. What do you think is your weakness in this game?
Ooh, I think my weakness in this game is I have a really hard time reading people. I think that if I have all the information that I need, I'm able to make strategic decisions. But what's hard for me is I have a hard time telling if people are lying to me. So I think that's a big weakness.
Okay. Finally, I asked you this last year. It almost worked out. Not quite. If you were named the sole survivor of Survivor Atlanta 2026, become the first 2-time winner, what do you think will be the reason?
Ooh, the reason would probably be I had a really strong social game, because I feel like a lot of the endurance challenges I'm not very good at. So I think if I'm able to make it that far, it'll be because I played a good social game instead of a physical game.
Okay, Luci, Survivor Atlanta 2026. Welcome, first time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous.
That's all right.
I don't really know what to expect, so.
Nerves can be a good thing. So I want to start here. What is your familiarity with Survivor as a show, as a concept, whatever?
I know a little bit about it. I've seen like one season of Survivor, so I know like the basis of it, but I don't know like too much. So I'm kind of going into this without like, kind of just freeballing it, I guess.
You're a new player? there's a mix of returnees and new players. How do you see the returning players? Obviously, they have more experience in this game. Can that be an advantage to you, or is that something that's a threat, or maybe somewhere between?
I think in some ways it can be an advantage because I like my brother and like his fiance, so maybe they'll be there to help me out, but also maybe a disadvantage at the same time because they'll know what to do and I won't, and they might be able to take that as like I can be here at this game because I already know what
Sure.
to expect.
Okay. Well, you've had some chance to mingle with people. Obviously, you're in a position where you know quite a few people in the game, but a lot of people you don't know. Any first impressions? Anyone you're thinking you might want to work with, or maybe you don't want to work with?
I think someone said Chloe won one game.
Chloe won the first
Yeah.
the first year.
So maybe I'll want to work with her because maybe she'll know what to do.
Okay. Are you coming with any strategy?
I think my goal is just to kind of like form alliances with people and like maybe like a friendship with people, and so we can like kind of intermingle. Besides that, I don't think I really have a strong game plan when it comes to it.
Okay. What do you think might be your weakness in this game?
Maybe like running. I'm gonna be
Running?
completely honest.
It's one of the more literal answers,
Yeah.
the more firm answers I get, but yeah. And then finally, if you are named the winner of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think will be the reason?
I think kind of going back to my strategy, just like forming alliances with people and like working with people, giving them to a reason to like want me to like move farther in the game, possibly.
All right, Michael, Survivor Atlanta 2026, returning champion.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Nervous. I think just very nervous. I think I have a big target on my back, which I didn't have last year, which I'll have to adapt to and learn to play around. But I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be a good Survivor challenge.
So you came in last year, first time playing, came in a stranger to most people, was able to kind of navigate low, I think, at first, and then made some big moves right in the middle that put you in a place to win. What do you think went right for you last year? And if anything, what do you think went wrong?
Yeah, I think definitely, honestly, just not ruffling too many feathers, I guess, in the beginning. I kind of just let people talk when I talked with them. I wasn't sure exactly how to handle all like the social interactions. And I think just the fact that I was a complete unknown, as well as the fact that I had Sander and then Josie as well, just a familial connection. I think it put me in a really good place.
This year, coming in as a returnee, so you know some people here. You know about half the people here. You're new to a couple people here. As a returnee, how do you think it changes for you? But also, like, how do you view working with returnees versus new players?
I think working with returnees will kind of be difficult. Of the returning players, two of which are ones that I've betrayed directly last year, and then one is their significant other. So that'll be fun, but I plan on playing differently than I did last year. I don't want to be as passive. I want to be more. I think I need to be just seeing. I think last year I benefited a lot from. It was of the final five. It was people who came in with like family, siblings, significant others, and seeing as there's kind of a large block of that, of the new players. That's kind of. But I think with handling the new players, it'll be. I think I want to kind of be a friendly, like helpful, just because I've been in their same shoes, and I think in the beginning, I think that would put me in a good, give me like a good sense of camaraderie between me and the other players.
Cool. Going a little more specific, is there anybody specific you've had some time to meet new people that you think you might want to work with or maybe don't want to work with?
Yeah, Tristan seems really interesting to work with just because, like, again, he's new. It's the first time meeting him. I think also working with Chloe a bit as well, just because, she's also a returning champion, and maybe doesn't have as significant of a target on her back now, but she still made it to the final tribal council last year. But I think she's really good with the social game, and I would really, I think working with her would help both of us like do our best in what we're good at, I guess.
Cool. Anything you're anticipating in this game, whether it is like the game itself or the structure or the twists or like the social dynamics?
Yeah, I think, I don't really know what to expect. I have some ideas, whether there'll be 3 tribes or 2, or how many redemption trials we're gonna have, or what. I think last year most of the challenges usually involved a pretty significant like physical aspect. I'm curious to see if this year will be a bit more puzzles. But really, I think with this game, just kind of how you have to take each round as it is. I think just take the game itself as it is, as it presents itself, and just try to do your best.
What do you think is your weakness in this game?
Oh, the social aspect. I think I'm not super good with persuading. I can understand what people want to do, and I'm really good at listening to and validating what they want, or what, who they may see as threats. But I think in terms of steering the game in my direction is something I struggle with. Influencing other people, rather than just following whoever is currently like the top dog.
Okay. And finally, I asked you this question last year. It worked out for you, but I'm going to ask again. If you are named the sole survivor of Survivor Atlanta 2026, first 2-time winner, what do you think will be the reason?
I think I'm going to be a more confident of a player, and I think that'll be the reason. I think I'm going to try to do my best at like winning the challenges, winning the, being able to have immunity is so huge in terms of being able to sway where the vote's going. I think, if I'm able to win enough challenges, I think that would be the reason why I would make it to the final council.
All right, Nick, Survivor Atlanta 2026, year 3. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling excited. I think the previous 2 years have taught me a lot, and I've been thinking about how to adjust my strategy, and I'm really excited.
So I think both years you've played, you've gone out in about the same spot. Make it to the merge, pretty strong merge player. Last year, you had numbers, but then you ended up on the wrong side of the vote right at the merge, and you went home not long after that. What do you think went wrong for you last year? And if anything, what do you think went right?
So I think last year what could have gone wrong is I think I was a very assertive player. I think I was definitely trying to make power moves, trying to kind of create defenses for myself, whether that be through alliances or over-indexing on finding immunity idols, really trying to build up my own defenses and maybe neglecting the social aspect or not flying too high above the radar, flying too close to the sun, that I think I became a target, especially after winning some challenges. I think that put a target on my back and was part of the reason why I got voted out.
So you're a returnee, so you know about half the players in this game. You've had a tiny bit of time to mingle with some of the newbies. Any first impressions, people you think you might want to work with or maybe don't want to work with?
I wouldn't say anybody that I don't want to work with. That's a little too early to make that judgment. When I think of the people that I want to work with, I think of some of the legacy players, Caleb, Sophia, Chloe, for example. Players that have been around since year 1. They're very familiar with my game. I'm very familiar with their game. I think they could be strong allies early on as we try to suss out the new players and understand how they're going to play the game.
Okay. What about Michael, returning champion? Someone that you was on the wrong side of your vote. Someone on your radar. Someone you might want to work with again. What are you thinking?
Michael's on my radar. He's obviously a very strong player. Won in year 1, which obviously is very difficult to do. So he's definitely somebody on my radar. Somebody I would love to work with. He kind of played such a great game last year where he was able to thread the needle, and so I'm a little maybe worried about coming off too strong about wanting to ally with him. So I kind of want that connection to come about naturally. And but he is somebody that I respect his game a ton, and would love to work with him.
Cool. Are you coming in with any strategy this year?
I am coming in with a little bit of a strategy. Having played 2 years ago, and then 1 year ago, I'm thinking that I would be silly if I were to keep doing the same thing for year 3. So I think this year I want to fly a little bit more under the radar. I think I want to be less of a power player early on. I think that got me into trouble last year, where I made my alliances very clear. I definitely made it very clear with maybe my strength in the challenges, if I do say so myself, that I'm going to be a player that's competing for the immunity of the challenge every time. And so, whether that doesn't mean that I want to necessarily sandbag challenges, but from the social aspect, I do want to be less of a kind of power player and alliance maker, and try to understand where the wins are going a little bit more and ride those wins, rather than trying to be the one who creates the wins.
Awesome. What is there anything you're anticipating in this game, be it a challenge or a twist, or maybe the social dynamics of the game?
Some of the things I've been anticipating are, definitely some physical challenges, definitely some brain teasers. I don't know. I'm actually not a watcher of the show, so I don't know any things that you could pull from that. So I am going in pretty blind. Trying not to get too excited for a specific challenge or not. I'm just going to kind of take it as it comes.
Cool. What do you think is your weakness in this game?
That's a great question. I think my weakness could be the social game. I think I have a tendency to be too loyal to some of the people that I've allied with very early on. To the point where if it doesn't really make sense later in the game, I might still be too loyal, and even though the tides have kind of been shifting, I might be sticking with that alliance. So kind of goes back to my earlier strategy, where wanting to be less of a power player, less of a person who's so reliant on allies and groups to kind of defend myself, and be a little bit of a lone wolf. Because that's a strategy that I think Chloe utilized really well in year 1 and year 2. She made it to the finals, and Michael, obviously, year 2, he won the thing. So I think that's going to be the kind of strategy that I try to replicate. We'll see how well that works in practice, but that's what I want to do.
Okay, finally. If you are named the winner of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think will be the reason?
If I am the winner of Survivor 2026, I think the reason will be some well-timed challenge wins and not getting on the majority of people's bad sides. So not betraying anybody, because that's important for the final vote. They're the people who vote the winners. And so I think that would be the reason, is that I maintain good relationships and don't betray the majority of people to get to the final tribal council.
Okay, Olivia, Survivor Atlanta 2026, new player, first time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little bit nervous because I've only watched a few seasons of Survivor in the past, so I'm trying to lock in all the memories, and I'm going to try to see if I can pull in any strategies, but I'm really excited.
That was my first question, actually, is how familiar are you with Survivor as a show or as a concept?
Yeah, so I'm more familiar with the earlier seasons, like seasons like 10 through 20, and I like the older seasons. I don't like watching the new stuff because I feel like people in the old season are more genuine. But I watched season 19 was my favorite ever. I can't remember where they were, but
19 is Samoa, is Russell.
Yes,
yeah.
Samoa. I loved the characters, the people. They played the game really well. But I'm familiar with the show and everything.
Awesome. So you're a new player, handful of new players, handful of returnees. What are you thinking about the returning players? Obviously, they have more experience in this game, at least. Is that something you think could be an advantage to you? Is it something you view as a threat, somewhere in between?
Definitely in between. I'm talking to Caleb and Sophia, and I'm a little bit... They already talked about how they betrayed each other, and they stabbed each other in their back, so I'm I have to keep that in mind, so I don't know if I trust them. Chloe, first season winner, I was looking at her, I'm I think she knows what she's doing, and I'm going to try to... Oh, she's walking. I might try to buddy up with her. I feel I'm very personable, so I think I can use the experience as an advantage, but I have to be careful not to spill too much about how I'm playing, and I have to make sure to reel it in, bring it out whenever I need to use it for my advantage.
Awesome. Go a little more specifically. You've had a little time to mingle. You've mentioned a couple names. Is there anybody else you're thinking you might want to work with or maybe don't want to work with?
I want to work with Lucy just because she's the one I know the best, which like obviously I know that's like a fault. It's like, oh, you want to work with the person you know, but like we're both like very inexperienced. So I feel like we can build together and then we can branch off whenever we need to, but definitely Lucy, Ava as well. But.
Cool. Are you coming in with any strategy?
Okay. No, because I don't remember the seasons that I watch very well, but the most I know is that, so I'm going to play hard whenever we're together in our group, but then whenever we hit merge, I'm going to try not to be too forceful with like, I'm not going to try to play really hard because if you're really good, they're going to want to vote you off sometimes. They're going to be like, hey, you're a threat. So I'm going to try to work as hard as I can, but I'm not going to come on too scary, like overbearing to where they're like, okay, got to get her out of here.
Cool. What do you think might be your weakness in this game?
Definitely just like spilling like secrets or like information. Like once alliances are forming and like if people are telling me like little secrets, they're like, you can't tell anyone. Like I'm like, oh, secrets aren't a fun. Secrets are for everyone. I might start spilling, so I have to be careful.
Okay. Finally, if you are named the winner of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think will be the reason?
Definitely just like if I'm loyal. If it's going to be like jury vote, we're down to that. Like I think it's my loyalty is going to get me the votes from jury. I think I'm a very loyal person. And if I like get to know everyone, I think just that is going to be able to, if I do good in the challenges and then the loyalty, that'll push me over the edge to win.
All right, Sophia, Survivor Atlanta 2026, year 3. How you feeling?
I'm very excited. Very nervous, but excited.
First year, you had a great showing, made it to 4, lost out on a tiebreaker. Second year, you got unlucky with a bad twist, and you were out early. What do you think went wrong for you last year?
I think the best part of my game is being social, and I think the social aspect. And I think the second year I went a little too leaning more like heavily strategic when I was talking to people. So I think whenever I was having conversations with people, instead of being more like light social, like light strategic, mostly social about it, I think that they saw, like, I mean, they said like Sophia's like best aspects is like the social, like whatever, talking to people. So I think people saw me as a threat in that way. So I think that that's what got me.
Okay. So you're an attorney. You know about half the people already. You're in a unique position where you know at least some of the newbies. First impressions, first thoughts. Is there anyone you're thinking you want to work with, don't want to work with?
I would like to say that I would like to work with Caleb because the past 2 years the first year I betrayed him and then the second year he betrayed me. So I think that maybe we could try and work together this year. And then, he has 2 of his sisters here. So I think that working with them could be good because we have like an outside relationship. I know that Luci doesn't really know anything about Survivor. Her friend Olivia has watched a few seasons and Ava knows a little bit. So I think maybe I could use them to help my game. And yeah, I think that they would be a good alliance to bring along because I think it's good to have people that you can kind of like lead through sneakily.
What about some of the other returning players? Is Michael someone on your radar because he's a winner?
Yeah, Michael is definitely on my radar as a winner. I think that he's great socially and strategically and then has been great at the challenges too. So he's like a triple threat. And because he has won, like he probably knows what to do to win again. In the same way, I think Chloe is still a threat, but she has always been someone that I wanted to work with. We actually talked about working together last year, but then when we were doing the handshake or the hand bag challenge, but then I got voted out, so that never came to fruition. But I think that I would like to work with her and then hopefully get Michael out.
Okay. You talked a little about maybe turning the dial on the social strategic versus strategic spectrum. Would you say that is your strategy coming in? Or is there anything else you're thinking about strategy-wise?
I think so, because last year I came in really hot. And so I think I'm just going to kind of be more chill about it this year. Not like, this is what we need to do in this way because we don't want this to happen. Kind of like falling back instead of like being more like the loudest voice. So I kind of want to stay more in the background and be like still kind of lead people, but in my alliance, and not try and show that to everyone else. So just kind of being quieter, still being social with everyone, but not so much like talking strategy as loud.
Is there anything you're anticipating in this game, whether it is a challenge or a twist or the social dynamics of the game?
I am definitely anticipating a tribe swap at some point, as well as a redemption challenge, at least one. So not that I want to get voted out, because I surely don't even want to get voted out at all to have a chance at redemption, but there is that to like fall back on. But I'm not going to rely on that, so because I'm too scared.
What do you think is your weakness in this game?
Well, last year it was trusting Caleb. So I think being trusting of what people tell me. I think I just need to be a little bit more wary of everyone, even if I think that we're close.
Finally, if you are named the sole survivor of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think is going to be the reason?
I think the reason is going to be because I played the best social game and was able to use my social ability as a strategic weapon, I guess, and that I'm able to get my goals to happen without being known as like the ringleader.
All right. Tristan, Survivor Atlanta 2026, your first time. Welcome. How you feeling?
So excited.
Awesome.
I've been looking forward to this for quite a while.
Glad to hear it. So I want to start here as a new player. What's your familiarity with Survivor as a show, as a concept, whatever?
None. Well, some. I feel like I'm leaning back to all the times that we were talking about it in our dorm room back in Singapore, and hopefully those lessons stay, the strategies, because I'll admit I have not seen an episode of Survivor since.
Okay. Well, we've had players both experienced and complete novices win, so it can work either way. As a new player, you know, there are a mix of returnees and new players. Those returnees obviously have experience in this game, at least. Is that something you see as valuable or as a threat? Maybe a bit of both?
Yeah, I'd say the part that concerns me most is probably the social aspect and the how to try to strategize about getting people out without getting tripped up yourself. And so I think that I think that I'll be able to have some success with the physical challenges, maybe with some of the puzzles, but I don't want to get blindsided and feel like I could have avoided it. So that's the thing that I think that the returning players probably have the best advantage of.
Okay. So a little more specifically, you've had some time at least to mingle with people. You're the person who doesn't know anybody here. So that's a wild card, obviously, right? That can go in either direction.
I think I am the definition of the wild card. I'm not even from this country.
There you go. First impressions. Anybody you're thinking you might want to work with, maybe don't want to work with?
So, I mean, this is just sort of blind human instincts, but the first people I arrived with and got to chat with were Chloe and Michael. And so I think that, you know, it's a starting point at least. And I know that both of them are very good at this game. That could be a double-edged sword. But also, maybe if I'm working with them, then people will see them as the bigger threat. And if they're trying to take out, you know, one of the three of us, for example, I might be able to fly under the radar a bit there.
Okay. Are you coming in with any strategy?
I've been trying to be a little bit friendly with everyone off the bat. Again, like I'm new. I'm just trying to make a good impression. And I'm hoping to just... I'd like to be in the loop as much as possible. And so if that means just like constantly talking to people, trying to get an impression of what people are saying, even if they don't tell me outright they're about to vote for me, maybe I'll at least catch it in their eyes.
Cool. What do you think might be your weakness in this game?
Social aspect. That's part of why I'm making such an attempt to try to chat with people. Is I think that I can be good at some of the challenges, but maybe there comes a vote where it's my last time at the campfire, and I might not be able to see that coming.
Okay, finally,
Yes.
if you are named the winner of Survivor Atlanta 2026, what do you think will be the reason?
Ooh. Working the field.
I like it. Okay, that's all the questions I have for you. I do have one more thing.
Yes.
I have somewhat of a reputation as liking a good twist, so we're going to start off early. Before this game even starts, I'm going to give you your first big decision to make in this game.
Oh gosh.
I'm going to give you your first big decision to make.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Ooh, it's hard to pick.
Ooh, this is a choice.
Survivors ready? Go! Deep in the heart of Blue Ridge, Georgia, 9 players have gathered for the game of a lifetime, Survivor Atlanta.
I'm definitely ready to get back out there. I feel like I kind of got, a little bit screwed over last year, so I'm ready to sort of redeem myself.
When it comes to like talking to people and like kind of mingling, I think I've gotten pretty good at that, and I think that's what's gonna help me the most.
5 players returned from last season, including reigning champion Michael.
So I think I have a big target on my back, which I didn't have last year.
I don't think I made as many moves as I should have, and I think that's why that was kind of my weakness in last year's game.
They're joined by 4 new players, hoping to make their own impact on the game.
I feel like I'm leaning back to all the times that we were talking about it in our dorm room back in Singapore, and hopefully those lessons stay.
I'm gonna play hard whenever we're together in our group, but then whenever we hit merge, I'm gonna try not to be too forceful.
These 9 players will be forced to work together, battling the game, challenges, and each other.
Last year I came in really hot, and so I think I'm just gonna kind of be more chill about it this year.
I don't know like too much, so I'm kind of going into this without like, kind of just freeballing it, I guess.
I think the previous 2 years have taught me a lot, and I've been thinking about how to adjust my strategy, and I'm really excited.
They must learn to adapt or they'll be voted out. In the end, only one will remain to claim the $200 grand prize. 9 players, 2 days, 1 survivor.